furtherance of the enterprise of the Gambino organized crime family. And that was what Diane Jack alone set out to try to prove.
I'm a young guy, only on the job
My
5
God, this is a
years. I've
nightmare.
got a lot of, as the saying goes, piss and vinegar in me. I'm sitting in the back row of the court.
Is this real
John
life?
comes up and he's looking around the courtroom. He sees me, I'm not a small person, and says, "Hey, who are you?" So I kind of stood up and I did one of these. My name's George Gabriel. I'm on Bruce Mouse Squad. Just here to kind of observe and
Good evening, everyone. I have to pretend it's evening. Actually, this is my first pre-record, so bear with me if we have any technical difficulties. It's actually Sunday, the day before, or the Sunday before the Wednesday that this will be aired, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. My guest, we had scheduling conflicts, but we worked around it, and we're going to pre-record this and then play it on my regular Wednesday live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. My name is Taryn. I'm the host of Paranormal Brew. Today I have, or tonight, I have a guest, which I'm surprised I haven't heard of Chase Manor of 1815. It's located in New York. But I have the owner of Chase Manor coming on from New York, from Chase Manor. His name is Dom Valerio. And he shared some clips with me too, some security camera stuff from the manor. We'll go over all that. But owner Don Valerio of the Chase Manor of 1815 has investigated for 20 years some of the most haunted locations in the New York State. Now owns a haunted property in which he allows individuals to book investigations. Chase Manor, being one of the most active locations he's investigated, is now his home and being built into a research center within the Finger Lakes region of New York State. Oh, sounds fun. Never been to the Finger Lakes. I've never been, but we're always looking for new places to go, right? So, without further ado, I will going to bring on Dom. Let's see.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? How was that for an intro?
Excellent. Um, yeah, so the Finger Lakes region, it's known for like wine and things like that. So,
Yeah,
for
I've
people
always
that
wanted.
like,
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to the Finger Lakes, but I've never made it up that far. That's a privilege. I'm down by. Oh, hello.
yeah,
Um,
it's been on the whole time and hasn't rang till now. So,
I'm from like right outside of Philly, like South Jersey, like You know what I mean? So I'm more, you know, but my team, my Peaches, I'm part of Paranormal Peaches. They're all up in North Jersey area. So they may be a little bit closer to you. So Chase Manor might be one of the locations that we might visit one day. Um,
Sounds good.
so before we get into Chase Manor, let's start off a little bit about you, and how you got into the paranormal. What got you, let's go from point A to point C, being Chase Manor.
Okay.
How we got there.
So I actually I used to work for a tour boat on the Erie Canal. We toured the entire canal system, and while I was on the tour boat, I had a friend that had a haunting in his apartment. So that's what got me initially started into investigating. And we did a Ouija board session. Nothing happened. We did like EVP stuff. And I was going through the audio and I heard a child's voice go, "Mommy, are we dead?"
Oh wow.
And after that, I was hooked. Like I was just hooked on the paranormal.
Yeah.
So I ended up eventually, we investigated other places, cemeteries, things like that. And then we formed a team back in 2010, and we started doing like charitable events. We'd have a supernatural expo, have a bunch of people there, and then any of the proceeds we donate to like a homeless shelter, the veterans thing, or so forth.
Love that.
So then after that, I kind of I was doing YouTube shows. Our old team name was Upstate Supernatural, then it was Upstate Ghosts. But I was doing like 3-4 YouTube shows a week for like 3 years, and life changed, schedules changed, so I kind of stopped doing that. But I still had a passion for the paranormal, so
Sure.
we ended up going on what I would call our paranormal road trip, and it was my good friend John Huntington, my friend Pat from high school, my good friend Josh, who lives in Amsterdam. Everybody was kind of scattered throughout the area. John was from North Maine, so he was the furthest. But we made like a week-long trip where we would go to different haunted locations and went to some of the, Hinsdale, Wildwood, Rolling Hills, Sweet Home Estates, Broad Albin. The Chase was actually on that list too, and Wilson Castle, numerous other places. And John he's been everywhere, like in the entire country. Like he's been to Trans-Allegheny, all the big ones throughout
Sure.
the. So from that, it was not last year, the year before. We were looking to find an extra place to investigate, and I had a friend that was basically looking. She was the caretaker. She was affiliated with the Chase Manor, and she goes, "You got to investigate here." So I was like, "All right, well, we're looking for a place." So we went here after going to Hinsdale, Wildwood, and Sweet Home. And as soon as I walked in the door, I heard a female voice audibly go, "Hello."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Okay, that's pretty awesome."
Yeah.
And I'm walking through the place, and I'm like, "This is beautiful. Like it's an old Victorian house, built in 1800s." And the activity was just off the handle. Like it was, we had a doll, like a trigger object doll that we had set up on a table. We asked if they would knock it down. They did. The EVPs, like you can walk through this house anytime. It doesn't have to be day or night. And I tell anybody, just take your phone, record for like a minute, and you're going to have EVPs throughout the whole thing. You probably have like 10 or 15. And it's just a very active place. And after I kind of had been here, I was already looking for a house. But I didn't really think in the capacity of like buying a house that was haunted and doing
Right.
what I'm doing now. But I've kind of like bonded with the spirits. Like they feel like family. I feel like I'm their estranged uncle. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So it's
And I'm
pretty
sure
cool.
they love that you're taking care of the place.
Yeah, I try to set it up. While I'm setting up rooms, I'll jump on the surveillance and listen to it. And if I can hear like whispers in the audio, I'll say, "Do you want this here? Do you want that there?" And I'm trying to set it up so they're happy with how it's set up.
Right.
So it's been an interesting journey.
So prior to your experience, were you interested in the paranormal? Were you like, into the paranormal prior to you having an experience?
When my grandmother died when I was 6, and I remember seeing an apparition of a woman standing over my bed when I was like 8 or 9.
Mhm.
But I didn't really have good memories of my grandmother. Like I didn't see her that often.
Sure.
And I remember it was like maybe a year later, my mom's going through photo albums, and she goes, "Oh, this is a photo of my mom. It's your grandmother." And it was the woman that was standing over my bed. So I've always had a curiosity in the paranormal or like ghosts and things. But I mean, nobody really labeled it, or it wasn't like mainstream back, when I was a kid. I mean, it really didn't become uh, like known as the paranormal or known as like the mainstream aspect until like the late 90s, early 2000s with all the shows and stuff
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah. Ghost hunters, I think ghost hunters put everything on, kind of like started the whole ghost hunting trend for sure.
Yeah, I think they brought it more to light where people didn't have to feel afraid to talk
Right.
about it, like because everybody would. I remember my parents were like, "No, that didn't happen. You're crazy." Like
Yeah.
that was always the stigma, is if you start talking about it, people are going to think you're nuts, or
Yeah.
it's just not real.
So
So
mom and dad didn't believe. No, nobody in the family believed.
my mom kind of thought it was a waste of my time and money and things like that, and my dad, honestly, he was impressed with what we were accomplishing. He may not have agreed with it existing, but he thought it was interesting, and he was always, and I'm sure they both were, but impressed with us, like raising money to donate to charities and
Yeah,
stuff, doing
absolutely.
this stuff. So I mean, they were thankful in that. But my mom, she was always um, very comical, and tried to like do little jokes and stuff. She got me a little box. I'll never forget it. It was like a little jewelry box with a cotton in it, and you lift it up, and on the bottom it said "ghost." I'm like, really, mom? Like she's just trying to, do little pics,
Yeah,
But
that's cute. That's
that
cute.
was just how she always was. So
Yes. Um, so you also mentioned a couple locations that me and my peaches have been through. You mentioned Wildwood Sanitarium, Hinsdale,
mhm.
Rolling Hills, and Sweet Home Estates.
Yeah, I've
Of those four, of those four,
uh,
which one?
Hinsdale and Wildwood, I would say, were up there for activity.
Mhm.
Um, the first time I went to Hinsdale, it was interesting. We had like a television cord get dragged across the floor. I saw what I felt were like apparitions out in the woods coming towards me, and they started to. It was 3, then it was 6, then it was 9, and then my friends were in the basement caught an EVP of "He Can See Us," and I was outside, so it was kind of. Hinsdale was very active the first time I went there. Wildwood, could barely go to sleep.
Mhm.
It's as soon as I went to go to sleep, I heard somebody go "boo" right in my ear. And I'm like, all right, I'm going outside in my car. I'm going to sleep in my car. And I hear a knock on the door, and I think it's a cop. And no one's there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, this is my safe space. I need to sleep at least 3 hours, something.
Right, right.
Sweet Home, it was an interesting place, but we didn't really get a lot of stuff there. So,
Mhm.
and Rolling Hills, it's got great activity, but I personally, I think it's a good place for new investigators, very people that are interested in the paranormal. She does a lot more tutorial stuff with her tours.
Yeah.
So, but it's a
Yeah.
great place for activity.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love Rolling Hills. I love all those locations. To be honest with you, they all were great. We had, like at Sweet Home, we had one crazy experience, and like for the rest of the time, it was more like EVPs here and there, stuff like that. Uh, Hinsdale, Hinsdale, you brought up something interesting because something similar happened to us where so there's 6 of us, and I think there were 6 of us there. I can't remember if there were 6 or 7 of us at the time, but 6 of us were there. So, 3 three girls remained in the house because we were like, all right, what if we split up a little bit, and then three of us went outside. So three of us went outside, and no, two were inside, three of us were outside. Three and three we split up. Anyway, regardless, we were outside, they were inside. They were doing EVPs, and in one of the questions they asked was, "Do you feel better now that there are less people in the house?" And a female voice said, "They got out." So acknowledging that, we got out. Well, while we were out there, I saw something coming towards us, and I thought it was a bear. Okay, it looked like a bear. I don't know what the heck it was, but I got so scared. Like, the scaredest I've ever been on an investigation. I've never ran. I've never been afraid, but literally, I thought it was a bear, and I stood up. My equipment went flying everywhere, but my butt cheeks couldn't clench any harder. A tear came out of my eye, and I went running into the house because I thought it was a bear. Now, the two girls remained outside and were like, as this thing was coming towards us, it looked like it separated. It looked like there were like two or three, and you know what I mean? So I don't know. I can't vouch for that because I didn't see what
was it near the stairs going into the woods?
So no, it was out near where they have the unmarked graves. We were out there at first, and that's kind of where it was coming from, like out back towards where the pond is and everything, coming towards the house. So it wasn't directly out back. It was, a little ways out there, but I didn't stick around to see what it was. I literally, because we had night vision, we had a FLIR, we had and I'm telling you, when it turned to the side, it was as big as a bear. I was like, I'm out. That's a fucking bear. And I took off.
Yeah.
But it sounds like
I was out there by myself, and it was the back stairs going into the woods. And my friend Renee is a psychic medium. She's like, don't go out into the woods by yourself. Do not do that. And anybody ever tells me not to do something, I'm doing it. That's just, So I start to walk up the steps, and then I see it looked like three people, shadow, almost like a cloud of a person, but there's three of them, and I'm like, oh shit. Sorry.
No, you're loud. You're fine.
And I back up. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're I can see you guys. There's three of you. And as I back up, three turned into six. And then I back up further, six turned into nine. I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. I ran back in the house because I was just like, no, I'm good.
I would be running too. There's no way, especially if I saw people. I'm more afraid of people than I saw the movie, 3 minutes of the movie Wrong Turn. So anytime I'm in the woods, and if there's people in the woods anywhere where I'm at, or anything that looks like people, definitely that probably would have scared me more than the bear. To be honest.
Yeah, I didn't bring a camera with me. I brought my voice recorder. Of course, the time when it's always a time when you have the wrong item when something crazy like that's going to happen. But I'll never forget it. I mean, I was, and then I went inside and I recorded a video of my experience. And then I go back down in the basement checking on the other people, and they're like, "Oh, you got to hear this EVP. It's the clearest EVP we ever captured." And they play it back, and he sees us, and I'm like, "What?" And then I was just telling them what happened, and they're like, "No way, that happened at the same time."
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's awesome that I have to tell the Peaches, because it's almost a similar scenario, even though it's different experiences. It's almost a similar scenario of what happened, and I haven't heard anybody else have that, where they got the EVP inside and stuff was happening outside. Yeah. I, for one, if we ever go back to Hinsdale, will never, ever, ever go outside at nighttime again. Because after that,
I'll be back there this fall. I'll be end of September. I'm going back there. I'll definitely be going outside with the camera.
Not me. But Rolling Hills is on another level too. I mean, that place is just. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Every time I've gone there, I've experienced some really crazy heightened activity. just a lot of really cool stuff, like from disembodied voices, the EVPs to I saw shadow figures, which I don't see anything barely ever. You know what I mean? Like I've seen a couple of things in my career of doing this, and so Rolling Hills probably ranks up there for me, pretty high.
Yeah, it's definitely an active location, and it's weird because like anytime I've been there, there's always like a group. You know, it's like 30 or 40 or 50 people, so it's really hard. You know, your
Yeah,
contamination,
sure.
things like that. But a lot of people don't stay the whole time. They end up leaving early, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay until until they tell us we got to get out of here, and that's when you get some of the best stuff. Like it's not anyone else.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've definitely seen shadow figures there. I actually I have a couple thermal videos. It was like actually something that happens here too, but it was like a dude peeking out the doorway, and it was I think I've been there 3 times. That was the first time I was there, and then the third time I was there, they were the Wraith Chasers were hosting an event, and they were talking about it. And I go, I have a video because somebody just explained that they just saw somebody peek like that. I'm like, I have a video from 10 years ago. Same thing just happened. So it was kind of
That's
cool to correlate it. But
Yeah.
I love the doctor's jacket and how it's on and it'll rotate. And the last time we were there, definitely as we were doing stuff, it felt like it was just turning and watching you. It was
That's
really interesting.
So I put a video up because that's what happened. We said if you're moving that, stop and have it go the other way, and it did. It stopped moving the way it was moving, and then literally turned and went the other way.
Yeah, I love that idea of that method.
Yeah.
With the shirt.
So we did a day investigation there. The first time I was there it was an event we were hosting, but the second time we did a day investigation. We were there from like noon to 4, and it was unbelievable all the stuff that we captured that we didn't even realize we were capturing. We thought there were people outside walking around the property. Now, afterwards, you think that's crazy because if anybody knows Sharon knows how strict she is with her rules and regulations to be on the property at Rolling Hills. Like she has to know you're coming. You have to have paid to been there. There's like so many rules that you have to abide by. But at the time, we're thinking that there's kids and people outside talking. So we're getting mad. We're like, oh my gosh, like, can't believe this. We're looking out the windows. We're trying to see where these people are at. We can't see anywhere where anybody's at. And the whole time we're just so mad. And it's all on record. Like you can actually hear the talking that we thought we were hearing outside and everything. And when we finally talked to Sharon afterwards, she's like, no, nobody. And there's no sidewalks, right? There's nowhere to walk there or anything. She's like, no, nobody has been on this property. Nobody's allowed on this property unless I know they're coming on. So people aren't just going to walk around the property. And she's like, and if you heard it, then that would mean that I would have heard it, and I would have went out there and kicked them off the property. And I know.
Yeah, I wonder if that's residual. Since it's during the day, I wonder if that's more like while it was open, while it was
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was interesting. We're like so dumb. We're like the whole time. You think this was 10 o'clock at night? I'm yawning like this. But the whole time, like we could have been interactive with, or at least trying to. Like if it's residual, obviously we're not going to get any intelligent responses back. But the whole time we're thinking, we're like complaining the whole time you hear us. We're like, oh my God, where are these people at? Like, and we were even debating going down to tell Sharon, like, go tell them they need to leave because we can hear them, But we had already complained once about something that we found out wasn't her or anybody else. So we were like, all right, we'll ask her about it afterwards. You know what I mean? But EVPs and just amazing stuff there. I really love it there. Sweet Home Estates was cool too, but I'd have to say out of those 4, and not being at Chase Manor yet, Rolling Hills definitely ranks up there. So let's talk about Chase Manor.
Sure.
Um, Go ahead.
So there was somebody else that owned it beforehand, and I ended up buying it from them and the person that was caretaking the property from them. So they did have some people coming in here to investigate. They purchased it back in 2020, and they
Yeah,
had
but
like,
no, it was built in 1815.
yep. So
You have any of the history of from like the owners from like 1815? Like, do you have any known history of any of that?
thankfully, my sister is kind of a skeptical person, and I've also gone to the historian's office myself. But my sister's kind of taken upon it herself to like research,
Good.
to do research and find old newspapers. So I do have a lot of information from whatever we can find from the previous people that have lived here when it was built, things like that. And I'm still learning more. I mean, there's still I can go back all the way to about 1812, 1815 with documentation, and then I've heard further back from other people's stories and things like that. So I mean, the history that I have documentation wise goes from about 1800 to now,
Okay.
for the most part, and then anything before that is kind of almost like folklore per se. But it
So
used to be,
there a structure on the property prior to this being built?
yeah. So back in the late 1700s, it was farmland that there was a revolutionary barracks for a soldier during the Revolutionary War. And the remnants of that building is actually attached to the barn behind the house. You can
Oh, that's
actually see
cool.
the where the fireplace stones were and stuff. And then the original cemetery for the area is kitty corner to the house. So it's the very first cemetery of Auburn. All the founders, things like that, are actually buried there. The original family that owned the house was buried there. There was a fallen in the mausoleum, so they got moved to another spot. Um, but I've talked to neighbors and things like that, and a lot of this section has a lot of activity. Not necessarily. I mean, the house has a lot of activity, and it does feel like it. There's a lot of travelers that come in,
Sure.
and it's been known as a portal in time. It's been known as a doorway to the other side. There's a hospital about a block away. Numerous times, like if I'm running a spirit box, I think I'm getting people that have passed away at the hospital, or you hear references of a doctor, things like that. And the house itself was farmland, so it was a farmhouse. And then the family kept trying to have children. They had quite a few stillborns. They weren't having the kids, so forth. And then they decided to sell the house to a whaling captain from Nantucket that was basically the cousin or uncle of the first mate from the Moby Dick story.
Oh,
So I'm still trying to get the details. I believe it was a cousin, but he was whaling at the same time the Moby Dick thing happened, and he and a bunch of other whalers actually came in this area because they were all Quakers, and they decided to come into this area and start building business in this area because there wasn't a lot here. And he was the philanthropist. I can't say it right.
Philanthropist.
Yeah, I can't even say it correctly. But
I can agree.
entertainer and all that stuff. So he had a lot of people over to this house. He was friends with William Seward, who was in Lincoln's cabinet when he was president, who's very well known in this area. So there's letters of him and Seward talking back and forth. So Seward actually came to this house. And then the house, it's just had a lot of history. It's 211 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's amazing. So is a lot of the house original?
Yep, a lot of it is original. I don't think any updates have been done to it, maybe since the 50s or 60s.
Hmm.
But a lot of the interior, it's all the original.
Like original
Um,
flooring and all that.
yep, yep.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, in the basement, the beams, I mean, they're logs. You can see the wood, the bark and all that stuff on some of the beams. And
Yeah.
and I mean, there's been repairs that I've had to do because, obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
things are going to deteriorate over
Yeah,
time.
211 years old. Obviously, yes, you have
Yeah.
to keep up, and I get that. I love, even if I were to come there and not have anything happen, which by what you're saying would not happen, but even if let's just say nothing happened, just being in a place that has that much history, you know what I mean? Like walking in footsteps that other people have walked in, and being in a place that has all this history enclosed. It's like a time capsule in itself.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The house. And I adore properties like that. I love it. And I think if you go into a place like that with that kind of time, like mind frame, I think you tend to you're open more to all the possibilities that a property can offer.
Right, right.
As opposed to it just being haunted or known haunted, if you will. Just the history of it, and embracing the history and the historical stuff behind the home. I can't, like, I'm in my house right now. My house right now was built in the 1950s, right? And I can't imagine 200 years from now somebody walking through my house, and you know I just don't think houses are going to last as long as what they did from back then. I feel like they were built different. They were built sturdy. They were built strong. They were built.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people come through and they're like, "Wow, this place, as old as it is, it has really good bones. Like it
Yeah,
has, and I mean, there's parts of it that it's one of the floors had like termite damage, but it wasn't recent termite damage. It was probably like 50 years old termite
right.
damage, and we ripped out the entire floor, redid it, so now
Yeah,
it's nice and sturdy. Resupported everything with it. There's a well or a cistern. I'm not sure if you're. Some people don't know what a cistern is.
I
Cistern is
know.
a well underneath a house. So there's a well that's 8 foot tall by 10 foot wide that is underneath the house. And basically, rainwater would come through the roof. There's little spigots in the roof. It would run down and fill this well, and then they would use that water for bathing, cooking, whatever.
Interesting. And
So,
you can see it. It's like open.
yep, yep. Yeah, we made it. There's a railing and stuff we have around it. There's a ladder
Right.
you can go down into it. I mean, it's one of the spirits, I believe, actually was played in hide and seek and died in the cistern.
Oh no.
So, um, but again, I'm still trying to get the factual information on the deaths of the
Yeah.
individuals here.
Yeah.
But
It's tough because a lot of times they didn't document a lot. Like you think they did because we have all this documentation of all these other places and this and that, but they really didn't document a lot.
yeah,
Uh,
I found a lot of information before the Civil War is scarce. Anything after the Civil War, there's a lot of information, at least in this area.
right, right.
So,
Yeah, I think, and that's what, like, I'm a big Gettysburg person, so I think I'm like, we have all this information from Gettysburg, so you think like you just automatically think everywhere else was the same,
right.
but it's not always the case. Like, you learn as you talk to more people that own places like you own, and or they're like, yeah, we can't find much on it because they really didn't do a lot of documenting back then, and they would bury people right on their own properties. They would, and they wouldn't document that kind of stuff. I don't know. Now you sent me some clips from some of your yeah. Were you investigating in all of them, or was it sometimes you guys are just sitting around hanging out? I mean,
A lot of times, we're just kind of sitting around, hanging out, maybe do a spirit box session, things like that. I mean, I have other clips from other people investigating this. The clips I sent you are really kind of like the highlighted things of just random experiences that have happened in the house that were just kind of unbelievable.
Well, I'm
Like
going to play one.
shadow play and things like that. So,
Yeah, I'm going to play the one that impressed me the most first.
okay.
And then I want to talk about it because it was definitely interesting. Now, I will tell you, I don't knock anybody that uses spirit boxes or anything like that. I find it hard to take that as evidential data only because you're sweeping radio waves or whatever it is that they do, these spirit boxes and stuff, or they're connected to apps. So it's really hard for me. However, every once in a while something goes and one of your clips went even though it was because of how let me just play it instead of just keep on talking about it. So hold on, let me I gotta share my screen, hold on, so everybody else can hear it and see it. All right, so let me just, it takes a minute for this stupid thing to catch up. So I'm going to do this. Select one. Window. Nope, we want this. Here we go. All right, so share. All right. Now I'm
gonna mute myself that way.
Okay. So the one that I found to be really, really interesting is this one here. Oh, wait.
Generated line profile.
All right, guys. All you gotta do is talk into it. Hey, Billy.
Is upheaval.
Hi, Bill. Hi, buddy.
Thinking you cause disconnection. You want me to get up? Put it up. This is Nick what's on Twitter.
Yeah, you're coming through, buddy. That sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Before 8:37.
How you doing tonight, buddy? Oh, there, boy. That's pretty sad.
0%. So much it is or 8:20. Please, Doctor. But
Something fire?
is his
Make space.
Billy, you still here? Billy, you still here? Can you just say hey?
does it have
Use code red.
of the problem?
Sad of the problem. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The leaders that are
Yes, I did.
human.
Human? Yeah, I'm human. Well, you guys were. You're still people.
Now back to the 83337.
You're just a boy?
I beat you.
You want to beat me? Or you just beat me or something?
Blacklist on this.
All right. So, That one really got me because one, the Billy voice is consistent throughout that whole thing. Like you keep hearing that same, and it sounds like he's answering your questions. It sounds like he says, "Yeah, I'm good." At one point, you know what I mean? And then, another thing is the dog reacting. Having the dog come out, and the dog I don't know if that's something normal, but I don't know what device you're using, and I don't know the story behind this Billy. It sounds like this is a
Billy's a very predominant
okay.
spirit, very vocal through spirit boxes. Um, my friend John Huntington. He makes a bunch of different spirit box variations. I mean, he could make like there's pulse ones. There's tons of different kinds of spirit boxes, and the one I was using was actually it was the second one I got from him, and it has a lot of reverb to it, and it's always been my go-to for spirit boxes. I've always had really good communication with it, but John's known for doing like bacon sessions. is he'll cook bacon in the morning and he'll run a spirit box and he'll ask the spirits, guys, what do you smell? And if you watch his sessions, you'll hear them say bacon over and
Wow.
over and over. It's crazy.
Wow.
But he and I both have had the conversation of sometimes like for us, you question whether a spirit box is actually going to function or that you're going to get communication through it. And then all of a sudden you get the craziest communication ever.
Right.
And it makes you, go, okay, there is something to this. But Billy, when he comes through, it's crazy. Like it's so clear and
Yeah.
it's awesome. Absolutely
Yeah.
awesome.
And it just gave me the feeling of, and I'm not a psychic medium, but like hearing him, it sounds like he's just so free and so happy, and he's like, hey, like he's like,
The house before people had bought it in 2020, and then before I purchased it June of 25, it was condemned, and the banks owned it for like 17 years. So no one lived here. So no one was talking to the spirits. No one was interacting with them. It had to be lonely. It had to be boring. So the fact, people are here trying to communicate with them, trying to interact with them, I think some of the spirits are really, really happy about that. And then some of them are like, I kind of like my alone time. I'm so
right,
used to it. You're sort of intrusive. But Billy, I think, he's a kid. He's a small child and he wants to have fun and
have you been able,
interact. And
yeah, have
so
you been able to find any history of a Billy being
my
there?
my sister, as I said, has been trying to help me with that. We have not found any documentation stating Billy as a resident here. But one of the believed names of one of the kids that died from the original owner that owned the farm, George Casey, one of his kids' names was Billy.
Oh,
Um, I also have a theory that maybe it was a neighbor and maybe it wasn't documented, but I believe Billy was the one that passed away in the cistern. I don't have it recorded, but I was using a Dead Wave. It was a spirit box app that we've had pretty good success with. And basically I got that information that, how did you die? And I didn't record it. I didn't have the surveillance cameras up, nothing like that when I did the session.
yeah.
So,
Of course, right? I mean, that's all that kind of stuff always happens all the time. I mean, even even going back to what happened at Hinsdale, they have the security cameras going all the time, and we didn't think but they only keep it for 2 weeks, and we didn't think until after that to ask Dan for the footage from outside to see exactly what it was what was that?
that's a good question.
I heard that.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
It sounded like whoa, or
Yeah, yeah, it sounded like a male. I mean, I have headphones on and I heard it past the headphones.
yeah, I heard it. That was crazy. That's cool. I love when that stuff happens.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's different.
yeah, that is different, but I did hear it. It sounded like a whoa or
Yeah, to me, it was like a male, some kind of male voice.
yeah, it sounded male to me too. It did.
Yeah. Hmm.
Interesting. Anyway, That happens periodically, and I like when that happens.
I am at the Chase right now, by the way. So
Oh, well, good. Now,
yeah.
do you live there?
I'm in the process of building a room underneath the kitchen to basically turn that into like a bedroom, living room area for myself. I snore, and I figured that's the furthest point in the house that I'm not going to contaminate people's evidence if they're here investigating. Just because I want to make sure when people are here, they're getting good stuff and there's not
Right,
much
right.
contamination. So like if I go all the way back there, it's just the kitchen and then a room underneath it. So I should be good,
Yeah.
insulated good and all that stuff. We already had to do work in there anyway. We had to rip out the ceiling and the walls and all that stuff. So water damage before I bought the place.
Yeah, and it's a lot. It's a lot to renovate an old.
Yep.
Yes, yes, it's a lot to renovate an old. Now it's not on a historical registry, so it's not like you have to like.
I chose not to go that route because like I talked to, I believe it was Wilson Castle was telling me that if you're known as a historic property, you get the sign and all that stuff. You have to restore it to the original.
Exactly.
And I'd already done the roof. I already put a new metal roof on the house. That was the first thing I had done because I'm like, I'm not going to start working on everything until the roof is good
Right.
because you're just gonna, so forth.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to do that, but I am looking into the folklore sign, which I just got to go to the historian's office and all that stuff and get that situated. But I figured instead of doing the historic thing, you can get grants, things like that with that. But a lot of people are saying you're spending millions of dollars trying to restore the place.
Yeah.
And you're basically going to bury yourself if you do that.
Right. Yeah,
So-
I hear a lot of property owners say that they don't want to do the historical, site because of that very reason. You want to be able to, renovate to, what I mean, to keep it to where it is, but not. It's so expensive. I mean, even windows to try to.
Oh yeah.
I know one property owner that it's on the historical site and they have the original windows, and like to replace one window, it's thousands upon thousands of dollars to replace one window.
Yeah, I have a lot of the original windows in the front of the house. I mean, they might have been replaced in the early 20s or 30s, but they're old. Yeah, they're the old style. So,
which is still old. People think like 1920 isn't old, but it's over 100 years old.
yeah.
So I mean, it's still, and a property again doesn't have to be. It could be a brand new property. Depends on the land, and there was a lot of stuff that occurred on the land prior. You're cat a corner to a cemetery. You know what I mean? There's a whole trifecta. The well. I mean, like you have like a whole trifecta of stuff going on there that kind of probably helps to enhance the.
Yeah, as I said, a lot of the so this house, Captain George Chase was one of the first coroners for the Auburn prison, and if you're not from Auburn, you're not going to know this, but the first place they ever did the electric chair was in Auburn, New York. So they actually have the very first electric chair in the prison to this day.
Oh wow!
Thomas Edison created the mechanisms for the electricity. Stickley Furniture created the chair, and that chair is still in the prison. And then basically, this North Street is one of the oldest streets in this area. So this house was one of the first coroners. 5 houses down was the original executioner. Then you have the original cemetery, plus numerous other positions. So I mean, the area itself has a lot of history just with the prison aspect. And then the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman actually ended up deciding to stay here before she died. Like this was her hometown before she died. She did have the Underground Railroad coming through this area. There's numerous places on South Street, and I believe that they use this place as well for transportation with the Underground Railroad. Captain George Chase, in letters to Seward, was an abolitionist. He was very supportive of trying to get rid of slavery.
Mhm.
So it's pretty the Fingerlakes area or just New York in general has a lot of history.
Yeah, upstate New York is beautiful. I don't want to dismiss any of the. Is there another clip that you want me to share that's one of your favorites that you
I,
sent me?
I would say probably one of the shadow figure ones. I think
All right.
there's two of them.
All right, hold on. Let's see. Let me share.
They're fairly short.
Let me share my screen again, and this way we can. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did see the one shadow figure. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So let me go to it. And now, come on, catch up. My computer's slow. It's very old. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, I bet you I'm still on Billy. That's why. Hold on.
Yeah, it's showing
Get out
the
of
X
Billy.
up in the left.
Get out of Billy. That's why. All right. So let's see. Let's see. I can't remember. I did download one of them, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull them all up.
There should be a one that you should be able to see thumbnails. I'm guessing. Maybe the 4 squares.
The what is it?
Over on the right hand side, you should have a view aspect, like you have it on the details.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Thank you.
There we go. So I would say those two shadow figure ones, those are pretty.
Let me see which one.
You got if you scroll up, you got the one with the red banner to it.
Oh, figure these two.
Up a little bit more. So you got. Let me see. Keep going up.
Oh, these two. These two here.
Those two, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll play the first one. Let's see. We'll play that again. Hold on. Why is it? Let me do this. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
So-
it's right where the line is. Yeah, it stops right at the mirror, and that mirror is actually known for being haunted.
Oh wow, that's really cool. And that was nobody, because I know that you had. It sounded like there were people in the background, but you guys were probably in another room.
Yeah, we were in the dining room, which was it was actually Thanksgiving Day, and we were talking, and then all of a sudden, my friend Renee, her daughter, felt like she was touched, but she's autistic, and she was just like, no, I'm good. And then we're like, did somebody touch you? She's like, well, yeah, no. So we went back and looked at the footage and saw that. And I was like, huh. And then the next one right next to it, that if you look at the front door, you can see what looks like a shadow coming down the hall, and you'll see it best on the door to the right, which is actually a bathroom door.
Okay. All right, here we go. Make this bigger. And move fast.
Yeah, when they move pretty quick.
Because you see it starts up here.
Yep.
So I play it. Hold on. And then it comes down to this door right away. Wow. I'm going to play that one more time. And what's interesting is that, you know, you can see in the other room, the light is bright enough that you can see nobody is walking around in that room, or else you would see. And I think the shadow of a person would be much darker. Oh, you're still muted.
Yeah, I was in the dining room, so I had just walked through that room and came into the dining room, which is where I am right now. And then I looked at the footage and saw that afterwards.
That's pretty
Because
cool.
I was it was a few days. I want to say it was a few days after the other one, so I was trying to see if I would get see that shadow move again.
Right. Right.
So,
Wow.
but
Is there
yeah,
any other ones that you want me to share? Just, I mean, like, I don't mind. Like, you tell me, because you send me a lot, but I mean, we can.
Yeah, the other one, I know you said you're not and a lot of people aren't big fans of the spirit box stuff. I find this one a little humorous because I was trying to do a tutorial video, and at the end of it, you can actually hear them say sweep. I stuttered on the word sweep, and then you hear them say it for me.
Yeah, like,
So
okay, let's see. You tell me.
it's the one right next to it. As I'm recording a tutorial, I stumble.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ready? Here we go.
You know, we'll put a sweep knob on it for adjusting.
Sweep.
I find it humorous, but I mean, it's so profound. I'm like,
Let me play it one more time.
You know, we'll put a sweep knob on it for adjusting.
Sweep. That's cool.
and then the other one is actually through one above it. It shows the guy in a bedroom.
Okay.
That's my friend Josh. He was helping me with a lot of the repairs.
Okay.
But what you're going to hear in this is actually not a spirit box. It's EVP through the surveillance system, and he didn't hear that. He didn't hear this when it was happening.
Okay, so you're talking about
It's right above it, right there with the shirt and the pants. He's sitting down. It's the second. Yeah, that one. It's black and white.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to play it again. I love it. Play it again. Wow. Wait a minute. Is he saying lay down on the floor and then you hear a yeah, or is that all like?
He didn't say it. He wasn't saying anything. That's all. Yeah, that's all from surveillance. He didn't say a word.
Wow. Because at first I'm like, maybe he's telling the dog to lay down. You know what I mean?
I thought the same thing. Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
the yeah is what creeped him out the most. But he didn't hear any of that when he was doing any of that stuff.
I'm going to play that again. I love EVPs. EVPs are my favorite thing in the world. Like, it's my favorite type of any type of evidential data, anything. So I'm going to play that again because I think that's really cool. But now I'm going to go because at first I thought it was him saying lay down. I thought he was talking to the dog. But let's see. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I love that. Are there any other ones, EVP wise?
Let me see what other ones I.
So let's see. You sent me.
The first one is the crystal gets knocked off the spirit box, and you hear "oops" after they knock it off. That one, that one's kind of funny. But a lot of them are. There is a lot of spirit box stuff in there.
Oh, that one was really cool. Thanks for pointing that one out. We can watch this one too. Let's see.
How many are in here with us?
I'm gonna play it again.
How many are in here with us?
I don't get it. I don't get it. Hi. But anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry that my wrong lighting is on here. Hold on. But thank you for watching. That now I'm hearing it double. What the hell? Can you guys hear me? Why isn't this up? Now you can see me. Well, you can't see me. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. Or hear me. But oh, you probably can't. Now can you hear me? I had the mute on. Oh. Anyway, thank you for watching. And next week, next Wednesday, is my 10-year anniversary. So please, guys, come join me. I'm going to be having some wine and celebrating 10 years of this show. Please don't go back and watch old episodes. They're, I promise you, terrible. And you will hate me if you watch them. So don't do it. And I'm talking like when we first started. But the guy that started Paranormal Brew with me is going to jump on, and then shortly after me and him started, Beth O'Brien joined, so she's going to hop on as well. So the two of them are kind of like original brew members to me. So they're going to come on and talk for a little bit. And a couple of other people. So they told me they're going to jump on and say hi. So I hope you guys join, even if you just come in and you're in the chat. I don't know what happened to the end of our video. I'm very disappointed because it was good. He talked about Chase Manor, so please go over to the Chase Manor's Facebook page. You can rent the place out to investigate. It's in Auburn, New York. That part didn't get in there, and I felt bad. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew where that was. But anyway, next week, 10 years, come join me. Come join, hang out, and have a celebratory drink with me, no matter what that is. It can be non-alcoholic, it can be alcohol, it can be water, whatever you want. Coffee, brew, whatever. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.